Today we're going to... Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to Hello Mendix. Studio Pro version 10.19 is out, and with it comes the release of view entities. They're an exciting new kind of entity that we can make use of in our domain models, and they're based on OQL or Object Query Language. OQL is similar to SQL, but it allows the use of associations from our domain models directly in your queries. Let's take a look at how they work and how you can use them in your development. View entities are made up of fields from other entities, similar to how views work in SQL. You can construct an OQL query which fetches attributes from multiple entities into a single view. This query can be mapped into a new entity in the domain model and used like any other in your pages and flows. View entities are a lovely green color, and once created can be used and accessed the same as any other. When the entity is accessed in any way, the data will be retrieved in a single database transaction from the other entities and grouped into your new temporary view entity. So how do we use them? To start, right-click in your domain model and choose to add an OQL entity. If you are not using OQL version 2 in your project, you will see a pop-up in Studio Pro warning that your project will need to be converted from version 1 to version 2 of OQL. You may encounter some breaking changes if you have existing OQL queries in your app, so be sure to back up your work before proceeding. Just like any other entity, you will need to give it a name. After that, we can write an OQL query which Studio Pro will use to create the entity mapping. Let's take a look at an example query which fetches fields from the customer and ordered entities via the one-to-many association between them. First, we provide a starting point using from. So from myfirstmodule.customer as C. Then we provide the join by referring to the association between the entities. So for that, we say join c/myfirstmodule.order_customer/myfirstmodule.order as O, and order is in quotes. Then finally, we select all the fields we want and provide names for those fields. So for that, we're going to say select c.name plus an empty space plus c last name as full name, c email address as email address, O order total as order total, and O date of purchase as purchase date. If your query is functional, you will see a preview of the data as it would appear on the view entity. If you have security enabled, you can configure access rules the same as normal, applying XPath constraints to your user roles to define the access for your users. It's also important to note you can't use a non-persistable entity in an OQL query. This is because they don't exist in the database. That's the basics. Next, let's look at how you can use them. First up, you can use them in pages as the data source for views and grids. If the data on your page is taking long to load the traditional way, replacing the long-running data source with a view entity is a great way to improve the performance of fetching data. Another great place to use them is when implementing charts with complex data sources. You can write an OQL query to gather the attributes you want into a single view entity. No need for loops or non-persistent holder objects. The query is executed at once and in a single execution, meaning your graph will load faster than before. Mapping JSON responses from an API can often lead to an unwieldy, awkward domain model, and displaying that on a page can be a daunting challenge, forcing you to follow associations using nested views and grids on the page. Nesting context entities like this can greatly reduce the loading time of a page. View entities can gather all that disconnected data into a central place for use and will execute much faster than the alternative. Finally, you can also use them to generate complex overview pages quickly. When you need to collect information for reporting, a quick OQL view entity can gather all that info and display it in an overview page with minimal effort. For more information, check the description below for our docs pages on view entities. In the meantime, remember to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. And until next time, I'm Ryan Mockey and this is Hello Mendix.